Hi, dogs.
Hi, how are you?
Good. It's nice to see your face.
Yay! There's a name to the face.
Hi, everybody in the chat. We wanted to do our own
Okay.
StreamYard tonight, so we wouldn't get kicked.
Hello, everybody.
Odin, you're in the stream. So, how's everybody doing just before Thanksgiving? Everybody have plans? Odin, can you hear me? I can hear you, Odin.
I do.
I said I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Well, okay. Yeah, I can hear you. I'm backstage, Teresa. No, I'm not.
Odin's broadcasting on Discord and he's broadcasting in here, but I don't know if he can hear me in here. Anyway, we're waiting for a couple more people to come on the panel, and I put the panel link in the Discord. I think the Discord link is in the description, and the link to the panel is in the Discord. I had both the sounds going
I'm
in
here.
both
Sorry.
places. You can hear me now, Odin.
Yep.
I felt like I was talking to myself. What are you doing for Thanksgiving, Odin? He still can't hear me.
I can hear you. I'm just moving.
Oh, are you going to tell me what you're doing for Thanksgiving?
Eating like a pig.
What's your favorite thing to eat for Thanksgiving?
There we go. That way I'm getting double feedback. What happened to Docs? She could have stayed.
She said she was wrapping something up and then she'd be back. GD says that I look older on the screen than I do, I guess, in my pictures.
GD's just a big bully.
GD's a troll.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about tonight. We're kind of talking about what the definition of a troll is. So I'm hoping that we'll get some more people to join because I invited Archer and I invited A Balance and anybody else that wants to come in and talk about it, because nobody's going to get kicked here or booted, and I'm not really following the chat to really even see anything. So I look a lot more scorned than in my pictures.
Well, if you invite Archer in here, the conversation will never stop because he can't shut up for 5 seconds.
This is my scorned hairdo. When I want to look really scorned, I wear my hair down and straight. WTT, why don't you come on the stream? Oh, that's right. You said you were going to come after Thanksgiving and yell at me. The resolution is awful. Could be because I don't have much of an internet here. Let's fix that. Is that any better? Odin?
Oh, sorry, I was typing.
Oh, I see we have EKA backstage. Hang on, let me bring him in.
Sweet, good auditor there.
Hello, EKA.
Hey, everybody.
He's black.
How are you? I thought you were a white guy.
He's a ghost now.
Yeah, I'm doing good. How about you all?
So far, so good. How are you celebrating Thanksgiving tomorrow?
I usually do the same thing. I'll be over at my parents' house celebrating with them and the rest of the family.
Oh, we got Desert here. How you doing, Desert?
EKA dropped out.
Hello?
Hello,
Yes, I know.
Desert. How are you?
I just got the note.
What's the note? You mean my link?
Yes.
Desert, what are you doing tomorrow for Thanksgiving?
Eating.
Do you have a favorite food for Thanksgiving? Odin's is peanut butter.
We're just putting the turkey out to thaw right now, and she's got a ham and pie, and we'll have the mashed potatoes and gravy, and what else do we? Yams, candied yams, the usual fare.
Desert, what do you think about the, I suppose, the way that we, especially, I guess, maybe not so much EKA, but you, Odin, and I are characterized as trolls in this community?
For me, it depends on the audience. I mean, there's quite a few that are still embedded in this community that actually appreciate the reporting that I do, because I actually do just try and bring up awareness of people who are hemmed up and what the outcomes are now.
That is very true about you. I've noticed that your videos are, normally pretty, they're not one-sided, they're pretty balanced. That's what I like about watching your updates, because we get a good feel for what's going on. And I enjoy the fact that people can see how the cases of auditors who have been arrested or hemmed up, how they progress and how they actually do work out.
Yeah, I see we got a mouse in the stream.
Yeah, Teresa, I just kind of wanted to bring up too, and how you asked Desert that question, and Odin, and how you said maybe not so much me. Well, I don't even troll stream on YouTube, and because of my association with just trying to talk with you all and get everybody's understanding, I am now labeled a troll, and have people unsubscribe for me, which don't make or break me, but and I've had a couple of people talk nasty to me or either ban me off their streams when I don't even say nothing but hi.
Don't you hate it when you go in and you look for the truth and you get banned because people are scared of the truth?
I hear people say, especially in the troll community, or what they call us, the cult, the Merb cult, the Odin cult, the Manson cult, whatever. But a lot of us have, I guess, the same sort of story in that, we only wanted to tell people what actually happened or what the law actually was. And we got labeled trolls, or, our speech is labeled hate speech, or, those kinds of things. And word sort of travels with some of these crazy stories of the crazy things that we're supposed to have done, and the people whose channels we're supposed to have gotten shut down, and all this, monetization that we seem to have some effect on, or whatever. And I think people misunderstand or misconstrue just exactly what it is that we are really all about.
Well, these channels do have to understand that there is a whole other audience out there. And that was also something that I was trying to explore. That's how I came across channels like No Good Reason to Stream. And then I started coming across the Sovereign Citizen Watchdog channels, because I was looking for that audience that has a different perspective on what they are viewing on YouTube. And there could be a certain level. And I've always said, I mean, if you see it with Tony Wickless all the time. He has his own set of trolls out there that when they see him live streaming, and if he's at or near or on property or at a business, they call the businesses up and troll them directly through their phone systems there sometimes.
Hi, Docs. Nice to have you back.
Oop. I'm back.
Nope, we lost her again.
I was back for a second. And for those channels that seem to block and ban to the point of being in their own echo chamber, they don't seem to realize that they don't want to hear the criticism, and they want to control their narrative, and they've accumulated a certain audience that is nothing but agreeable to them. So I guess if you disagree with anybody for any reason, even if you're trying to help them on any point of law that they may be violating, or some sort of ideology that won't work for you in a court of law, you're labeled a troll.
Good to have you back, Docs. Desert, I think that's very true. I think that's very true. I was in a live stream watching a panel today, and I have made these, like, we have all these sound bites in Discord of just like from videos and what have you, just little sound bites that people make, and they put them up in Discord. And I had collected a whole bunch of those sound bites and had been pulling sound bites from videos and stuff, and making these funny little videos. And I made a video about, I guess it was Bell, and it was like a live stream or something that they had done that I had kind of chopped up and made it funny so that it sounded like they were suing Merb or whatever. And I got accused today by her of that being hate speech. And I was like, I I don't know where you get any hate out of it. It was supposed to be funny. But, I mean, if you have a difference of opinion, or if you try to point out anything in any sort of way that they see as negative, they'll just cut you off, cut you out of the stream. And I think that's pretty hypocritical, especially when they'll talk about you in the stream and then kick you out of the chat.
Well, that's one thing that made me interested in coming to Discord to begin with, is when I was seeing you all gosh darn trolls coming in, and I started looking at like simple stuff like CFRs you all are posting and different things, trying to keep somebody out of jail. But because you were changing the narrative of whatever they had going on, like calling you trolls, that wasn't satisfying me enough. You weren't trolling, you're keeping somebody out of jail.
Go ahead, Docs. I'm sorry.
I came to join to see what was the auditing community and what was it about. Because even though I watched the videos and stuff like that, some stuff just didn't make sense.
Well, there's a
Thank you,
lot of
Teresa.
you're welcome. There's a lot of misconceptions about the law in this community, and a lot of people that spread a lot of misinformation about what the law is, and what you can actually, use your First Amendment right to do, and what you can't use it to do. And that's always, been, well, if I go out and do any sort of video activism, my very first goal is always not to get arrested. So try to keep people out of jail, most especially because once you get put behind bars, there's nothing that anybody can do to help you back there. You're at their mercy. And so it's always better when you stay out of jail. And that's always something that I've tried to do, is to keep people out of jail. And I've seen a lot of other, I guess the cult members or or what people call trolls doing the same exact thing, and just and just trying to help, and it gets twisted into calling what we do hate speech.
Hey, Mouse, if you stop lying about your criminal record and you're honest about your record and stop attacking your victim, we might look at you in a different fucking light, you little life piece of shit.
Hey, Odin, I don't, I'm not in the streams or the YouTube, so I don't see what's going on in chat right now. The only thing I have to say about Rex, and I guess he was discussing in another StreamYards after we were talking, that he did come out and say that he owes money, and I know he owes money. And that's why evidently he can't hold a driver's license, because he owes money. So he has been honest to a certain level, and I'm going to give him that.
I'll give him that much, but I ain't going to give him the full honesty card until he's fully honest. Fuck that piece of shit.
And I did get a response back from the county clerk concerning his documents, and he's correct. They're not going to give me everything. They have to redact. There will be certain documents that will be unavailable. He says he has a big closet full of all of his documents that he's trying to preserve in this case. However, I mean, he's never really given me a case number, and Mouse, if you hear this, my email is one word, lowercase, desertsentinel@gmail.com. If you'd like to give me a case number for your open appeal on this that I can verify, I would appreciate it.
I support good auditors, not frauditors. I support EKA, and I have right along.
Well, I'd like to support, everybody's right to speak freely, and I'd like for everyone, because, that's my thing is, the flow of information and people being able to have access to information. I like to provide people with the most accurate information. It bothers me to even hear rumors around town about somebody might be in city council stealing or this or that. It bothers me to hear people say those things, and to know that all they have to do is go up there and get the record and look, and that instead of doing that, they'll just spread rumors. And I've heard rumors that I've been able to squash around town, in other towns, in other communities, by looking at public records, and then I've heard rumors that turned out to be true. And so the free flow of information, I think, is more important, and finding out the facts of things is more important, I guess, than trying to silence everyone or anyone that you don't agree with.
Well, the thing that I've seen, of course, is we all know that a certain individual within this community that was very large had hid his past and did a very good job at it. And I think that really opened the eyes of many of us. And the minute we started questioning that past, which ended up having some baggage, and he is currently indicted and going to trial here next month, in January, maybe. That's when I started questioning things. I really did. And I started seeing more and more people coming into the community that these shooting stars that have baggage, and it's not their past. It's things that they've done in their past, but they haven't fully completed their restitution, paying their fines, or continued to violate outside of the auditing community, like we've seen with Joshua Abrams, and more that have weaponized this ideal of the First Amendment into the point of receiving charges, retaliating against people like Ian McGuire of Hate the State. And now I'm seeing more and more individuals and groups of people who are using it as a mechanism to incite people into some action that they can file lawsuits against.
Well, there's also the whole case with Timmy Harper, and the gun charge that he's facing now, and sort of the events that led up to that gun charge, and what he's actually going to have to deal with now because of the things that he's been involved in, and maybe the way that he's behaved. And I'm certain that there are some things that are in Timmy's past that may not lead me to think of him as a horrible person, but that are going to affect him going forward in all of this. And those are things that I guess people really need to think about before they get involved in poking the bear, or trying to do something that may, if you don't know what the law is, and you get yourself on the wrong side of the law, nobody's going to be over there on the blue side of the law is going to be nice about what comes next.
That's another thing I want to point out. Can you hear me or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Getting in people's face with cameras and stuff like that, nobody gonna step in. You know what I mean? We're just trolling, or maybe somebody will call the cops or whatever, but we can't save you. If that person wants to beat your ass, they're going to beat your ass. Regardless of the camera, how many viewers are watching you, they're gonna beat the shit out of you.
Well, and one of the main reasons that this movement sort of started was because people wanted to share the information and sort of turn the political, or the public opinion away from what it had been, and just buying the narrative that comes along with everything that comes out of the government's mouth. And that's when you turn in the public against you, you're never going to have the public opinion, or the public opinion changed in your favor, if you're just going to use it as a weapon against them. So I don't get that, trying to stick cameras in the public's face. Most especially, I'm a little more sympathetic with with government and stuff, but even still, there are limits and there are lines that you can cross.
I mean, my idea when I went out with the camera to do my little piece to cameras, my audits, my public photography was not to make people afraid of somebody with a camera doing something in public. I wasn't, if people came and asked me what's going on, I'd explain it to them. The original ideal of this being an educational experiment, and to get people to realize that you do have a right within the traditional public forum to have a voice. And if that voice is your camera, making a vlog and disseminating that to an audience. The last thing I want to do is scream at somebody and call them a bootlicker, or this, that, and the other, just because they are curious and ask what I'm doing.
Totally agreed, Desert. I thought it was all about the education when I was first getting into this. And Teresa also bringing up public perception. Not only does that involve the auditor, but I think all of the viewers, everybody that participates in this, standing up for rapists and child molesters, you are worse than them by letting them be a part of this, and then the public perception is when we go out there, now what, are we one of those child molesters and rapists? I think that has to do with the public perceptions too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I worry about the public's perception, and I worry about, I guess, some of the new tactics that people use just to try to get a reaction from police. And I don't think it puts them in a good light. And I think if they are, looking to score big money in some sort of a lawsuit, then I would think that they would be playing to the jury as opposed to playing to an audience that's also angry with police.
Well, somewhere along the line too, I think this movement community, or whichever you wish to call it, was hijacked by the YouTube community itself. And what I mean by that is the entertainment of, like furry being the pootie pie of the auditing community. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you. When I first got involved in this, which was about 7 years or so ago, there was just a handful of people that were video activists that were, popular on YouTube. Just really just a handful, and we were all close friends. We all knew each other, and we all spoke to each other, and we all kind of monitored each other. And so, if we were hemmed up, we'd all take care of each other. But there's so many people that are doing it now, and they have so many different sort of styles, and they have a lot of not enough knowledge to be out there pushing some of the limits that they're pushing. And it's getting them hemmed up, and there's just not enough, I guess, of us to sort of get all of these people out of the trouble that they're getting themselves into.
Well, I think there's less styles. There are many motivations out there as to why certain individuals are using this genre and putting it up on YouTube. And I believe a relative majority of them are doing it for the money. And as far as any lawsuits, or if they get minor charges, if they catch a misdemeanor here or there, the cost benefit analysis, whatever you want to call it, is that they can make more money on YouTube rather than spend the money to actually take it to court and file the lawsuits and make the change.
That was kind of like, I mean, it's not like it was written in stone or anything. It was more or less maybe my own perception and understanding. Is when I caught onto this, I watched a year before I ever said a word or anything. I was really interested, intrigued, and was like, oh my God, my rights. And then my understanding, it was like, if you were going to make a donation, it was because you saw an injustice done and wanted to help this person out, and like you say, make a lawsuit for change to make sure that doesn't happen to somebody else. And then along the way, it just got hijacked by like e-begging. And then, like, if someone wants to give to someone, that's their own thing. But like, it just shouldn't have been associated with helping somebody with their bills and help me with my damn bills, but that wasn't what it was supposed to be about.
I said I'm not watching the YouTubes, but I guess the StreamYards pops up a comment every once in a while. Hello, Man in Black. How you doing?
It's pretty nifty because I can pick out those and make them go up there. I don't know how to remove them, though. So I don't know how long it's going to stay.
And
I know.
Go ahead, dear.
I have never seen one say You know, everybody's, oh, film the cops, film the cops, film the cops. I have never once had anybody say, hey, let's go down to the congressman. Let's go down to City Hall. Let's go, you know, the heavy hitters, you know? Your congressmen, your statements, you know, those are the guys who make the laws.
Well, I've come to find out if you really want to know or make any effective change in your area, especially when it comes to prosecution, you need to know your district attorney. You need to hire the right district attorney. They need to put into place the good district attorneys. It has very little to do with law enforcement. You can have every law enforcement officer out on the street could be an absolute tyrant, but it's up to that district attorney to actually file the charges.
I agree.
I would agree too.
I mean, I've talked to a district attorney who told me a story about a gentleman whose nephew was a POS and had filed a restraining order against his uncle. His uncle was a large collector of firearms, and before that restraining order could be basically thrown out on its face, the feds wanted to come and remove all of his firearms and charge him for possessing them because he had a TRO. And basically this district attorney threw it and told them immediately that they actually did come and confiscate the firearms, and he told them to immediately return all of his property.
Well, I was going to get back to, because we were going to talk about defining trolls and what, and we kind of went over that earlier about, particularly, I guess, how I feel about being defined as a troll and stuff. There was some other stuff that I wanted to talk about too. Particularly about California Guardian. And I kind of wanted to fill everybody in on with California Guardian. I talked to Felipe, and California Guardian was, I guess, picked up for violation from his home. And I understand there was some sort of sweep in the house, and there were some maybe pepper spray or something that they found. So he was taken into custody, and he's waiting for court on December, I believe. December 17th. But up until then, he doesn't have any bail set. And let me see if I can share this with his address in case. I'm going to try to figure out how to share the screen. Hang on. In case anybody wants to write to him. Let's see. All right, I don't know what's good. Okay, it looks like, let's see. Share in the window that and I want to share this California Guardian window. Yeah, I guess we're okay here. I don't know. Can you see the window by chance? Anybody? I think I figured it out. Wait, hang on. So I think I need to do this, and then I need to do this. So this is California address so that you can write to him, or if you feel compelled to send money. I don't know that he needs any money to send, particularly to this detention facility. You have to send money by money order. They won't take anything through, I guess, I don't know, credit card or whatever. So it has to be a money order, and it has to be a federal money order. Let me see if I can get back to the other screen. Okay. But anyway, I wanted to mention he's giving and maybe even for Christmas and stuff too. So just, anybody that's a friend or that keeps up with his channel or whatever, feel free to write or whatever. and just to let everybody know what's going on with him.
I think it was also suggested to use the top address on there, Teresa.
The top address, yes.
So do you think a postal money order, if somebody wants to send money, I do want to note that I heard Phil, High Desert Community Watch, state that he was going to go and put money on his books for him.
Yeah, it's my understanding that there, someone was able to put some money on his books, so that there is money on his books at the moment. But I don't know how much, and I really don't know how long that's going to last. And I wrote him, so I'm going to wait and see if I hear from him. He's got my phone number and stuff to be able to call, and I'll let you guys know if I hear anything else about it. But like I said, it's Thanksgiving and it's the holidays, and I'm sure even if you're not going to mail money to him, and that's not what I'm suggesting at all, a letter or whatever would be nice. Do we have any other addresses for anybody that's in jail right now, Desert?
Not that I know of.
Anyway, I was just going to suggest that. All right. Well, does anybody else
Unless
have
you
any-
want to send something to Ian McGuire, but after the 2nd, his address may change.
No, not necessarily. But I guess maybe I wonder. I don't know if I'm going to find out what his address is to be able to mail stuff to him. But I was, those things are kind of easy to find out. So if you know what jail they're in, just Google the jail name, and there'll be some sort of information about how to send stuff to the inmates on almost every one of those websites. Does anybody else have anything they want to add? And we've been streaming for about 40 minutes or so, and I have some things that I have to prepare for tomorrow, and probably everybody else here does too. So I'm gonna not keep everyone.
Well, let's kind of do a closer. I mean, like our old buddy Steve, PNP News. He saw me in one of these panels, and he made a comment. He said, "Just remember, Desert Sentinel is one of them merbites." And I let him know that his pejoratives are getting kind of stale, and he really doesn't understand what's going on. That there are no merbites. We are all individuals. Many people in the discords are all over the spectrum of their belief systems, and we all pretty much fairly get along and have a lot more dialogue, just like how these panels are going on. We have a bit of dialogue. It only seems to be the ones who are completely entrenched in their ideals or ideologies and lies in some cases that don't seem to want to stick around.
Yeah, and I want to say, as far as the subject of trolling, a troll is not a person trying to keep you out of jail and maybe disagreeing with your agenda. A troll is that person telling you to go trespass, putting you in jail, leaving you there, and not giving a shit about you as another human being. They want you in a cage.
That's right. Keep that in mind, because the person that's holding the camera is the one that's going to be going to jail. And it's cold in there, and it's a cement floor a lot of times that you have to sleep on, because you don't get processed into the main thing for like 24 hours. So jail's not a fun place to be, and there's nothing that anyone can do to help you in there.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Teresa, and we'll do this again sometime.
Yes, I enjoyed it so much. Thank you for coming, and thank you, EKA, for coming, and Odin and Docs. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Everybody also in the chat, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you for joining us. And I guess we're going to do this again because we all know that panel streams are hot.
All right. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Good night.
Good night.